Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Solar Pedal Collective, where we rise through shared light. I'm Ryan. Great having you here. Great having you back here. Um, yeah, there's there's a lot. I might have a few distractions going on because I am at work and I'm doing a little bit later recording than what I normally do this morning or during mornings. I had to get a new phone because my other one, it was starting to charge incredibly hot, so the battery was going bad. So I had to get a new one. So the quality is probably very different. I went with a 25 Samsung Galaxy 20 S25 instead of the S22 that I had, and it has a lot more space, so I shouldn't have as hard of a time doing video recordings because I used to have to create space and all that stuff. So today, I kind of just wanted to go over kind of just basic, like how the energy's been, like the messages that I've been receiving, because the energy has been very like aggressive. Again, it's been angry. Like that's how I want to feel. I had to sage my whole house the other day. And I try to regularly sage because when doing a lot of meditation and energy work and just energy occurring every day, going in and out of the house, you bring energy with you, you leave energy, all that stuff contributes to it. And so I had to, and it had been a while since I saged, but the energy in the house was very much like aggressive, very much angry, and it felt like that the majority of last week, and actually probably even longer than that. There's been like a subtle hint, but yeah, it was angry, and so I had to sage yesterday because it was just Saturday. It was just aggressive, and I'm not an angry person. I'm very much a like live and let live to an extent, but I'm a very happy person. I don't let things get me down, and I don't try to be angry all day and stuff like that. And yeah, kind of just like a go with the flow kind of a person. But the past, like last week, for sure, and then weeks before that, there was a subtle hint of like angriness, aggression, frustration. But last week it was intense. It was intense. I was angry majority of the days for nothing, just for little things. So I wonder if like the Lion's Gate or the Lion's Portal that opened last week. What was it on 8/8? So that was what, Friday. So that could have attributed to it, and it could have not been like anger, but it could have been aggression, especially if like it follows the aspect of like a lion, which lions are very proud, very aggressive. They can also be very lax, but they're very aggressive when they need to be. Yeah, so that was crazy. I did want to do some more like I wanted to do more recordings last week, but I just like I felt so aggressive when I got home. I just wanted to chill, like I needed to chill. So I never had the motivation to not just the motivation, but like I didn't feel like I needed to record. And I very much feel like last week was a like everybody just calm down, just let this energy come out and kind of do the ebb and flow thing, because the energy was going to burst out with the Lion Gate. With that opening, all that energy from it was going to just burst out, and now it kind of has to settle, and then you kind of feel the energy. Like that's what it feels like I'm being led to do. Like, just let the energy happen and focus. And I just saw a heart. Like, I saw a black box and then like a light heart in the middle. So not fingers, not like that, but like an actual, it looked like a very nicely drawn heart, not an actual heart. But yeah, so I'm being what would be the word, compelled. I'm being compelled to kind of just let the energy happen, let the energy wash over me, and kind of just feel it. So maybe that's what other people are feeling as well. Like, it felt very intense. It felt very intense, and so intense that like it was coming out of me. Frustration and anger was coming out of me, which it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me. Also, like, I'm also being told portals and dimensions and reality are not what you think. And like, I keep on hearing messages about time and space, and where like the theory, or not the theory, but like they're perceiving that the fourth dimension is no longer time. Like, that doesn't make sense. Which, I mean, yes and no. I mean, time can be a dimension, but I don't think it is. It's not. I don't want to say it's a physical dimension, but also at the same time it is, because if we, like, if our soul is not affected by time, then time is technically a physical dimension, because it doesn't affect non-physical things. Like, if our light, our vibration, is essentially immortal, and we are just coming down to have a mortal experience in this reality, then technically time is a physical dimension, because it's only affecting physical things. And if you were to be able to perceive time, and if, so here's, again, it's going to be a video that I talk about time, but here's the thing. If time was universal, if time affected everything equally, then there would not be the theory of relativity, like the theory of time, where like time dilation would not be a thing. If time was universal, if time functioned the same way here as it does here, and it was universal, which means all the way across this plane of existence between these 2 points, time would function the exact same way. So let's just come up with a number. Let's say noon. What we perceive as noon here technically would be the exact same time here. Noon here would be a time here. It would be, they would sync, right? So when you travel the distance, technically these should always stay synced up. Like, if you start something at the exact same moment on one planet as you do the other, it should technically, if time is a universal law, if it is universal and infallible and doesn't change, those should always stay synced. If they're only run by time. Like, if they're only manipulated by time, they would stay synced. Obviously, like, if you're like thinking like a physical clock, it would obviously be manipulated by gravity and everything else, so there would be differences. But if you had two objects or two data recording devices that were only affected by time, they were not affected by any physical, any physical influences. They were only affected by time. They would be perfectly synced no matter what. Time dilation would not happen. Because time dilation only happens because gravity is strong enough in certain areas that time is still technically functioning normally, but light is not escaping. That's why you get essentially the after image. Like if somebody's going closer to a black hole, time dilation is occurring because gravity is making it so light is not returning to you. Like light is not returning to whatever is observing. So you get the shadow effect of an image that stays there. Once they get close enough, the image is just there because light is no longer returning to you. Light is no longer returning to the observer, so you're no longer seeing an update of the image. But technically, time is still functioning exactly the same. So what we're observing is not technically time. What we're observing is light being affected by gravity. That's how we observe time. Is essentially how long it takes from light to reflect from an object back to you. That is time. That is time. That is time. So us getting older and all that stuff, that's not technically, I mean, it is technically time because the passing of time is how you age, but also at the same time not. Because if you removed our observation of time, time would still happen. Time is like other laws and everything that we don't see and perceive, but we know is there. Like air. We don't see it, we perceive it because we breathe it. Time, we don't see it, nor do we perceive it. You don't perceive time. You perceive light. You don't perceive time. Like if your eyes were closed and like, for instance, if you were blind and you could not perceive light, theoretically, and like I don't know from like the stance of somebody who is blind, but I'm saying from my point of view, if I was blind, I would have an incredibly hard time. It would be incredibly difficult for me to perceive time. Because we perceive time based on the orientation of the sun from our planet. Noon is when the sun is technically the highest in our sky. So we're perceiving time based upon the orientation of the sun to our planet, the star to our planet. That's how we perceive it. But that is not actually how you, like, that's not time. So what is time? Is it a dimension? Is it a law? Like, what is it? If we never labeled something as time, what would it be? Would it still exist? Well, if things grow up, get old, and decay, that would technically be a perception of time, wouldn't it? I mean, yes and no. time is not actually causing things to decay. Time is not causing light to travel. Like time is not the causation. Like time is not causing things to happen. So what is it? And then, like, going into more things of dimensions, portals, realities. Like, what is a portal? A portal is literally anything you walk through can be a portal. Me standing up, me transitioning from sitting to standing, technically I am going through a portal. Walking from one room to the other is going through a portal. Getting into your car is going through a portal to get into your car. From outside of your car to inside your car. Going from an area of clear skies to an area of fog. That would be going through a portal. Everything. Your perception of a portal is actually not like a doorway. A doorway can be a portal, but it isn't necessarily a portal. It's whatever you perceive as a portal is a portal. The theory of the bag of endless holding in Dungeons and Dragons. Pen and paper. The bag of endless holding. The bag is essentially a portal into a dimension, a pocket dimension of unlimited space. That's a portal. This cup is technically a portal. There's water in this cup. I know there's water in this cup because I put water in this cup. But to everybody else, they know there's a liquid in this cup. That's what they think. That's what they could perceive. I could actually put something that's not a liquid in this cup. And it would make it a portal. Like, this is a portal. Drinking from this, I would be opening a portal, drinking through a portal. Like, that's how you have to retrain your brain. We are taught through school, through everything, a specific way how to view the world. Because before you go to school, when you're a toddler and you have no cares in the world, your imagination is insane. Like, you are imagining things that are out of this world. And then you're told how to read. You're told how to write. You're told what an A, B, C, D, D, etc. You're told what a rock is. You're told what a tree is. You are told. You are conditioned on how to think. If you really think about it, you are taught how to write on a piece of paper that is ruled specifically, that has two solid lines on the top and bottom and a perforated line in the middle. Where do you commonly see that in the world? As a grown-up, where do you commonly see that? On the road. On a 2-lane road, you have two sides that are marked by a permanent white line with a perforated line in the middle. You are taught how to stay within the lines when you're a child learning how to write. And that carries on through your entire life to where you learn how to drive. And what do you have to do when you drive? Stay within the lines. Because if you're outside of the lines, you're breaking the law. How many people, how many of you saw that? Or how many of you are just like, holy crap, he's right. It's those kind of things. You are conditioned from the moment you start education. You are conditioned on how to view this world. So you have to recondition yourself to view things completely different. when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you have to redefine how you view the world because it's not going to make sense. If you're spiritually awakening and you're trying to raise your vibration and you are trying to view the world differently without changing any of those filters, you're not going to see any difference. You're not going to see any difference unless spirit, source, zero, your spiritual guides, whatever, like kickstarts it. Like what happened to me, where all of a sudden I am seeing things, like I'm seeing visual, what's the word? Stimuli. Yeah, I'm seeing visual stimuli. I'm hearing, like I'm having auditory stimuli while meditating in the waking world, like right now. Like being able to see aura it's intense and insane. Like it's intense and insane. Because my view, my filter of how the world was, I never saw this stuff. I never saw it until this year. So, actually, I take that back. I probably did see it earlier on in my life, and like seeing the stuff now, I do see like the snow effect, which they've actually, like there actually is a diagnosis for, like the static TV effect, where like in my vision it didn't matter where I looked, I kind of see that TV static, but it's very it's not prominent, it's very mild. But now like that TV static is prismatic aura, like it's an array of different colors now. It's no longer like just static. Like I see all color in the static, as well as seeing prismatic aura over everything. And the aura is not just the static, because I can differentiate, like I can see lines, I can see definition in the aura. Like even on my monitor, the aura kind of goes up that much off of the monitor. So, and my perception, my filter of how the world looks has been changed forever. So it's you need to go through and essentially break down those filters and rebuild it, and it's gonna feel like you're going insane. It's gonna feel like you're crazy. It's gonna feel like it doesn't make sense. It's gonna feel like it's outside of the norm, like you shouldn't be doing this, that it's wrong, that it makes you a freak, that it's weird. Like whatever labels that have been put on it out of fear, because everybody has been told a certain way of how to see, how to feel, how to think. So when you start going outside of that, when you start trying to change that, it feels very abrasive, it feels very wrong, it feels very foreign, because you are changing how you think. You are redefining your reality. And it feels so abrasive because your body, the human body, is inherently lazy. You set up all these filters and everything when you were first starting out in your life. So now when you're 20, 30, 40 years old, and you're trying to change those filters and redefine your reality, your body's like, wait a minute, I'm so used to this. What are you doing? This is not right. This does not feel good. Stop. Your body is doing that. And that's what they want. They conditioned us so well that our body craves the filters like a drug. It craves it like a drug. And we all know how bad dependency can be. You've seen it. We've been taught it. Illegal drugs are bad. Addiction is bad. But being like those are two concepts. Illegal drugs are bad. Addiction is bad. They combined it. Being addicted to illegal drugs is bad. But they're removing the addiction is bad. Because addiction is more than just drugs. You can be addicted to drugs. You can be addicted to your phone. You can be addicted to politics. You can be addicted to anything. Addiction is bad. Not addiction, not just addiction to drugs. Addiction, full stop, is bad. But they don't like that narrative anymore. Because they want you addicted. They want you addicted to your phones. They want you addicted to the internet. They want you addicted to the news, to the fear-mongering, because that's how they control you. That's how you're controlled. Your attention and your time and what is going through that filter is how they control you. So I'm being like, you need to see that. You need to see that. And it doesn't matter if you watch this video and you're like, yeah, you're crazy. Quite frankly, it does not matter to me what you think about me. In watching this video, it's going to start changing your filter. Because now you know. Now you heard it. You can't unsee it. You can't unhear it. And the energy that is in this video to help release that filter, to help start changing that filter, is also in there and has been released to you. So I really hope this finds whoever it needs to find, and it, quite frankly, it needs to find as many people as possible. If you find yourself coming back to my content and you want to help support, please do not hesitate to hit that subscription button, hit that bell notification icon, let you know when I get more stuff out there. And yeah, like, try to redefine your filter, because it's not going to help you to follow what they want you to see and hear anymore. There's a lot happening, and there's going to be big things happening in the next few months, is what I'm being told. I'm not being told specifically, it's just big shit is happening. That's literally what I've been told. In meditation, in dreams, word for word, big shit is happening. Do you know how crazy I feel saying that? How crazy it feels. Like, I don't feel crazy, but just how crazy it feels to say that. Like, big shit is happening. Okay? But take that how you want. The energy you have received the energy. If you're still watching, you have received the message to change your filters and everything. So thank you so very much for tuning in. I really hope that whatever was in this whatever was in this video as a message that you were meant to find, you found, and that your spiritual journey either begins here or has begun, and I have assisted in that spiritual journey. So thank you so very much. Thank you for sharing your energy, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.